All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are getting ready to hop in to game number 1 here on Train. You can see our teams have already pre-populated their sides, and of course we'll run through the list. On the left we got the WarriorPak. That's Cave, Focal Warrior, Tysil, White Knight, and K-Day up against the International Justice League of super acquaintances over there with Lucifer, Ramza, Captain Magma, ACO, and Shorts. And we're jumping right down into the match. I don't know exactly what's going on with the player cam here in the bottom, but you can see already it's a fast duel over here in the back, and 3 players left for either side as WarriorPak and IJLSA are both fighting for this first pistol round, and you can see 2 players remaining already on the WarriorPak side, and it's just going to be a little bit of an attempt here at a retake. It's one already found there by White Knight. It's Ramza to claim another, and Tysil versus his final opponent in Ramza and ACO as they try to hold off against him, try to secure in this pistol round. Back red, a fast fight, and Tysil not going to be able to track down either of these players, and ACO will come out to secure it. And I am kind of desperately trying to figure out why the... There we go. Alright. That's a little better. Apologies for that one, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a little bit of technical difficulties here on this, here in the show matches. So I was just trying to figure out real quick exactly why we couldn't exactly see who we were spectating. And now we're going over to the White Knight cam, but he's quickly found out as Eat My Shorts, Lucifer, Ramza, they come together, but quickly found over from the WarriorPak side. And it's a 2v2 off of just pistols. The USP's going gigantic as Cave and Tysil combine, but Lucifer, he brings it down to 1. A 1v1 here on the bomb site, and it's Tysil to win it, and Tysil to lock his team in to an equal scoreline. Well played from him. And again, sorry, you're gonna see a little bit of the back end here as I once again try to fix our spectating, let's say problems, because that's what it is. And we'll hop right back down into the action. IJLSA, they're not going to be too happy at having given that one away. But they are going to be looking to regroup here, regather, and try to fight back up. Just playing a slow, little methodical game over here towards main and halls. They do have a smoke out here onto back red, which is allowing them some space. But Cave gonna be holding the line, but not able to prevent Shorts from getting in close. Wants to try and fight off these aggressors, and an early op-out from Tysil finds Shorts. That could have been very dangerous if that goes down early. So 4-4. The weapon's still favoring the CT side here. And it's going to be a close fight and some close wins. ACO and Magma coming together to claim a 2-man lead. And they're looking to take this lead right back. 1-1, but quickly going towards a 2-1 scoreline. This op's going to have to go massive. It misses on the initial. Can it find the second follow-up player? It can't. And you see Ramza hunting over here along the Z line, and he finds that op. Isn't able to find the M4, and K-Day gonna have to go gigantic here. Finds 2. Sees the third. Finds that as well. And now a 1v1 ACO, the leader in Showmatch number 2, went absolutely gigantic. And he has to show that he can do it again with the M4 here. He's holding over in ramp, trying just to find something. The smoke gonna go down, but it doesn't quite cover the bomb. Is gonna give maybe just a little bit of room to allow for this defuse to start, but it's ACO to end it. And a very nice play from K-Day to try and clutch that one out, but it's ACO to lock in the round for IJLSA. Very nicely played from him. So now we find ourselves into the 4th round of play, and while the CT side, they're going to be feeling the loss of that op here for sure. And going up against majority AKs over here from the T-sided aggressors, it is going to be tough, but they do have the room to work with. And now Lucifer going back to join his team. Just a kind of a slow play over towards Ivy. Ooh, White Knight, he wants to get a little aggressive. He finds an opponent, but Shorts claims him. 5-4. As now... Shorts. Ooh, Teisel trying to catch a timing there onto him. Has his life found in the process, and this might be consecutive rounds on the board for the T side, and it is. Finally, a team is able to strike 2 in quick succession to lock themselves up, and whoops, apologies for that one, lock themselves up into a scoring position. I am trying to mess around with some stuff just to make this an even better viewing experience, but hard to do while you're trying to capture this fast-paced action. And now another pistol round coming out from the CT side. Last ones did not give them the success that they had off that second. K-Day, you gotta say, some nice clubs there. But now it's just a bit of a slow play over towards Ivy. An early find there from Ramza. Looks like he wants to try and follow it up here into an aggressive shot as White Knight wants to push up towards ramp and try to push through. ACO claims him. So a 3-man lead, or a 2-man lead, I should say. 3 men remaining for the CT side. And Lucifer spots out one. Early claim. ACO gonna find another. Lucifer finds his second for the round, and the bomb goes down as well. So 4-1. As IJLSA off to an early lead here on Train. And the op gonna be coming back out for Teisel. So that is going to be interesting to see. Are we going to see more from it this time? Last time, well, he was able to find one, but then gets put in a very unlikely position. K-Day, if they were able to win that fight, might have come out with something, but... we're gonna find ourselves into a little bit of a slower round here. Got 3 stationed up over towards A main. One just kind of lurking out over towards that B halls. And you got White Knight with the XM waiting for any aggression. Rams as well, waiting to see if anybody gets a little cheeky towards Ivy. But it looks like right now this is leaning over towards A. As util being exchanged here. Focal gonna find one in a fight down from Pop Dog. Or are we calling that Long Dog now? In the meanwhile, ACO finds his own over towards B. So now what looked like an explosive A hits turning into a quick B finish. And Focal, he wants to follow up. They think that's a T. They think that's someone coming up to support them. And now it's Magma all by his lonesome. He's got the bomb, but he has 3 skulls to find. Interesting camera angle here from the auto director and K-Day. Joining up with their teammates, but Magma finds one. Knows where the op is. Here's the shots ring out. Now finds the second. And it's an interesting fight here. Magma just needs to try and delay. Just allow a few more seconds to tick off this bomb. But Teisel, he's closing in. He knows the player's here. And he gets the no-scope as well. Teisel not going to fall in the clutch situation again. And he should have the time on this bomb. It's going to be a close one, but he gets it. Oh my goodness. That one almost lost to time. A little bit risky there, but the op does not fall again, and that 3-round gap closes to 2 as WarriorPak find their second. So, I mean, it's got to be said, great work from Captain Magma, the captain of the T side, trying to fight his way back into that one. Some very nice shots, but just isn't ready for the close aggression from the op. Wasn't ready for him to get off that top angle. And now it looks like a fast play over towards B. At the same time, Cave going to be aggressing over here towards Ivy. White Knight finds himself some heads, does get some damage off onto Shorts, but not sure if he's going to be super aware of it, as now the T's barreling out. Shorts again. 10 HP to his name, but manages to turn around and find a second over towards Long Dog, and now just getting the smoke down, wants to give himself some safe harbor, and Teisel managing to find Lucifer in the exchange. So 4v3, and again a very wounded Shorts, but the ops ring out, and K and Ramza fall to them. So a 2v3 now. Shorts loses his life finally. The 10 HP turns to 0. And Tysol, he's trying to hold off here against the top. But phenomenal play, and it's an ace! Tysol, 5 shots with the op, and he lands in a beautiful third round for WarriorPak. He does it all himself with 1 HP on the line. Wow. And I thought, honestly, there, when you see the player coming in through Z, you see, oh, that's going to be an easy kill onto Tysol for sure, but he's ready for it. He hits the shot and manages to find all 5 to rip his team forward into a 1-round deficit, 10-4 from the man so far in this game. And oh my goodness, he has come to play and come to win, and it looks like now the T side, they want to adjust this into a fast A play. Tysol, an early miss. White Knight, or Focal, sorry. I'm going to be playing very close with it. Shotgun finds 1, can't find a second. Magma to trade. But already Lucifer, he's in close, and he finds K. Down to 7 HP, and Tysol, oh, he drops as well, but Cave finds Magma in the exchange, and Cave finds a second. Ramza down as well. 2v2. Cave, 2 on the round. Lucifer and ACO, 1 apiece. And it's White Knight coming in from Z to try and support, but are they ready for the yellow push? They're not. Lucifer finds Cave. White Knight, all to do here. The flash comes over, blinds him, and Lucifer comes through 4-3 and finds IJLSA a 5th round. And ACO, nice supportive flashes there just to cause a little chaos, cause some doubt, not allow that to be an easy engagement for the WarriorPak side, and it ends up gifting them their 5th round. So now an eco forced out of the WarriorPak side. And it looks like it's going to be Ramza and Lucifer to try and aggress over here towards Ivy. Early damage on Tysol, an early kill on Tysol. The Deagle trying to see if they can find anything here, as it's going to be a fight there. Cave with the scout wants to try and find these aggressors. 3 people in Ivy trying to fight through. Cave finds 1, but Focal, oh my gosh, laid out by Magma. And ACO finds a second. Captain Magma, Captain 2K. I don't know where I was going with that. And now Kade, close, finds 1, can't find a second. Nice headshots all around, and 2 kills on an eco. WarriorPak's not going to be too upset with that, and especially because the bomb doesn't go down. So not a bad eco coming out of the CT side, but now the T-sided IJLSA, they are within striking distance of locking in this first half on their pick, don't forget. Or I believe, actually, I don't remember. That was so long ago, we had so many tech difficulties. It's hard to exactly remember where we find ourselves way back in the map. Vito and White Knight going to be spotted out there from B-Halls. Kade wants to sit back here along Z. Flash not going to do too much for him. The smoke comes down. Nobody currently watching over towards White Knight. That might be dangerous. He finds the timing, but doesn't find the frag. Tysol finds 1. Ramza, 1 in the exchange as well. Kade coming up huge on the site to secure a second, but Lucifer with a quick trade. And a 3v3 is going to be necessary if WarriorPak wants to try and salvage this one. I've got Magma holding up here towards B-Halls as the 2 CTs look to try and fight back in. The flash comes out. Isn't able to find anything yet. Molly gonna come out. Is that gonna force any sort of aggression? It is. Magma, he peeks, or sorry, ACO peeks out. Finds 1, loses his life in the process, but Lucifer, very nice placement there on Z, finds 1, and Tysol, he knows this one's most likely over. He's going to fall back, going to try to get his op away, but Magma won't allow it, and IJLSA get themselves up onto 7. So 7-3, a 4-round deficit going to be required here. But only 2 rounds left to be played here on the first half. Early flash over onto A. Looks like they want to get some early aggression. Lucifer spots out Cave with the scout. And a little bit of shuffling back over in the CT spawn. So this round, I mean, most likely it's going to be the T side getting up to 8. Ooh, but not if Tysol hits shots like those. An early AK recovered. And that's Ramza down. And you really got to say for the T side, every single player has been contributing. Every single player almost up there on double digits, except, I mean, Lucifer on 9, Rams on 7. That's not exactly nothing. But it doesn't mean that there's any easy fights here for the WarriorPak side. They have to fight for each and every one of these kills. Walking into White Knight, who has had a bit of a struggle this game. Foco getting caught in the cross. Lucifer manages to find Teisel trying to rejoin, and that's the recovered AK lost. K-Day as well lost in translation. And now, White Knight, he does come up, finds an op in the exchange. Now he's locked down onto the site. Lucifer comes through with the third. ACO locked into the clutch, 1v2, and it's him versus Focal. Focal with only a deagle and 27 health, but now he's got the scout. One quick headshot could end this, but with no kit as well, he needs to accelerate this play. Trying to push in over towards the site. Now knows where ACO is. ACO, though, that's a two-way street, and ACO will lock it in a 1v2 clutch. Needed and secured by the T-sided player. And now one last round in the first half. 3-8, and WarriorPak, they want to try and find it here on this, well, a little bit of a scrappy buy. Oh, actually, it'll be a pretty full buy. I saw the MP9 coming out, but looks like that was more of a creative license than a necessity, so they're going to switch it over to an M4. Some early utility comes down. Foco a little too close. He's not expecting the accelerated play here, but no, K-Day comes through with the trade. Magma does lose a good bit of health, but manages to take K-Day's life in the exchange. So some wounded T players, but an extra T player. So now Magma locked in over here towards Pop. Does have White Knight approaching through Z. Ramza pushing through Ivy, and this could be an early exchange, and it is. Cave finds him. Teisel looks at one, sees the legs, gonna secure it, and all of a sudden, the 4v3 to a 1v2, and Shorts with 12 HP, he's forced into the clutch. He needs to try and find something. He's at back red. He knows that he is low on HP, low on time, but it looks like Teisel once again manages to combine with his friends. 2 kills for him, 1 for White Knight, 1 for Cave, and that will lock in a 4-8 half as WarriorPak are looking to recover on the T side. Alrighty, so swapping over, now it will be the round leaders of the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances forced to do it again here on the defensive. And it looks like just a 5-man rush over towards Ivy, so this might be a little bit of a tall ask for Shorts. He falls early. 5 heads to find, but Cave's the one to find it. 5v3 now for the T's. And it's an early rotation. ACO gonna hear this. Locked over into the CT spawn. Are they ready for him? They are! He finds 2 in the exchange, though. Beautiful awareness, and Ramza comes in with the trade. So now a 5v3 to a 2v2. And White Knight can't fall to this close player, and he does it. Finds Lucifer. Ramza, this CZ going gigantic for him. He sees the shoulder, and he gets a triple for himself as he locks in this round for IJLSA. They pull that round. They pull that pistol from the absolute edge of defeat, and you could see a full house required from ACO and his teammate Ramza to pull that out, and they do it. I still am not sure how ACO, with 5 men running at him, is able to secure 2 headshots there in the back. But Ramza, beautiful rotations in to catch the killer, catch one on the rotate, and then turn once more to find that final player. And now they're trying it again. It's another fast Ivy rush. 2 found. Teisel gets 1 in the exchange, but Magma goes gigantic and gets 4 for himself. And Ramza comes in as well. The closer, closing it out and putting IJLSA onto double digits, as now they need to try and find some way to prevent the T's from closing the gap. So right back into it. A full buy coming out from the T's with a scout on Cave, who looks like he wants to try and take that fight over towards main. Lucifer aggressive, does find one, but Teisel gets the kill. The second player, he's not quite ready for it, and ACO expecting a little bit more, but he's going to be happy just coming out with a win. At the same time, Shorts in the back line going to come through with a kill onto White Knight, and Magma finds Cave, finds a second onto K-Day, and Magma is erupting here as Ramza comes through to close once more. A 2K from Magma there, absolutely huge, but you can see every single player on that CT side has been contributing. It's about equal across the board there in kills, but Magma 17. And ACO, you gotta say 16 and 6. It's just a very dangerous game here right now. And WarriorPak, they don't seem equipped to handle it, but could they change that here on the early aggression? Looks like they want to slow this one down a little bit. The CTs, hyper-aggressive last time towards B-Halls. Doesn't quite pay off. Teisel some early utility damage, down to 44. Trying to see if he'll get gifted anything. And White Knight, he's going to push this smoke, but is he ready for the player behind him? He turns and he finds it! Shorts gets White Knight down to 9, but isn't able to secure it. Captain Magma finally finds the frag, but it's Teisel onto Ramza, who has been instrumental in locking down these last few kills. So now Magma, an op to his name, gonna be looking for anything, finds K-Day. 3v3, Lucifer rotating in, finds the headshot onto Teisel, and now Cave wants to secure it, but the rotate in from ACO won't allow. Captain Magma, 2 HP here in the backline, looks for Focal, finds him, and a hat trick from the captain will soar this team into map point, looking to coast onto DE Inferno. And WarriorPak's pick is not going their way right now, as they need to find 8 rounds straight to get themselves back into this one. But they say every journey begins with a single step. And could this be the biggest step of all? It's going to be a play over towards B, and right now it's only ACO to hold the line over there. An early molly will prevent any sort of shenanigans down towards the ramp, and Magma going to be rotating in himself. Teisel taking some room towards Long Dog, but that's Lucifer to fall. Trying to play a little hidey game there and isn't able to be very successful. Magma now up towards the rafters, has the op locked in right now over towards the ramp. Looks like Teisel trying to make a little bit of noise down towards Long Dog. Try to just distract a bit, and right into ACO. Magma finds one on the push. K-Day a quick trade. 4-3. And Magma sees one drop, sees a second drop, and just trying to find something here. Isn't able to land the shot. And now a 2K brings it back from 4v3 to 3v2. As Magma now on the site, looking to get aggressive over towards these players, and Teisel, a lot of heads to find, and him and Focal will come together and lock it in. 2 kills apiece, and a 5th round on the board. Well played from WarriorPak to keep themselves in this and try to fight to secure up their map pick. It's going to be a long road, but that was a great start to it. And really, throughout this entire game, it's just been a back-and-forth affair where one team goes up, the second tries to catch them. Even in these individual rounds, it's 2K is going left and right and left and right, and you just have to hold your breath and hope you know who's winning at the end of it. And right now, it's IJLSA to start off that winning streak. 1 kill to ACO. Out of the early aggression, Shorts backing up now out of Ivy to try and rejoin his team. Sees the aggression, but a quick 3K. Cave K-Day coming together to secure 3 kills between them. And just like that, an early kill over for the CTs transitions to a 3K back in the direction of the WP side. And Focal, he's going to be gifted one from Lucifer on the close shotgun himself. So ACO probably just looking to save this one. Maybe try to take a few guns with him. They know the econ's not phenomenal over on the T side, but econ not looking great for them as well. 350 is what's left on ACO this round. Teammate Short's only at 50. But that's going to help. Oh, that's going to help gigantically. An op recovered. He just wants to try and save this, and it looks like he will be successful as long as he doesn't get a little too overzealous here, but KD decides they don't want to hunt too far either, so 6-12. And this should be around here. That should be a gimme for WarriorPak. It's going to be pistols, maybe some SMGs coming out from the CTs. And it should be enough for them to get up to a 7th, but that op could be dangerous, could be deadly. And it's on the hands of one of the most deadly players in the server, ACO 19-7. Chooses to take it over towards red. Tysil and ACO aiming each other up there between the smoke, but neither player are going to be able to land a shot through it. And now ACO just wants to try and hold over towards Ivy. Spots out one. Some chip damage onto him, but isn't able to find a frag. So now Cave falling back a bit. Just waiting for any sort of aggression. Lucifer wants to get a Zeus, and he will! The APL Zeus leader adds one to his tally. KD trades it out, but that's going to be a little sobering for Focal. A little upsetting, perhaps. White Knight long-range XM is going to be able to find the frag. Only loses about 42 HP in the process. So now Tysil looking just to try and push in here. The op doesn't secure it, and Magma finds him. 3v3. And still only one weapon here on the CT side. That op, but it is in the right spot if this ends up going towards B. The op up on Catwalk. And it's going to be the XM to find it. ACO thought he was free and clear to get out of there. Wasn't. And White Knight finds the frag. Can he keep this op from getting recovered, though? It's a fight at long range. Magma finds him, Cave, trying to hold the line, and he will. So the op not recovered from the CTs, but 3 players lost in that round. They are not going to be unhappy with that if you're on the IJLSA side. So once again, gonna have to be a little bit of a broken bye here from the CTs. That recovered op wasn't actually able to do all that much there. I think it was really coming down to the pistols. Green knife, green gloves. We chase it onto a very colorful T over here from KD. The nade stack, and it does scare KD off of the aggression, but it isn't able to find much else. And all 5 players going to be going over towards this B area. 2 in Long Dong. 3 pushing B, and that might just call the rotate back, seeing that 2 players aggressing. Might scare the T's into perhaps leaning a little more towards A, which they do, but that bomb up in halls, still with plenty of real estate to work with, and Tysil pushes out, gets an early op frag. And now minute 12. KD taking some fire damage. It's going to be called here by the Pop Dog players, but will they be able to lock this in? Focal finds one. Can he find the second? He does. And now Tysil in the backline falls to ACO. That's an op down. So even though they're unlikely to win the round, once more ACO likely going to be gifted an op for his troubles. And Magma, he's been huge throughout the series so far. And it looks like they might want to try for this. They're going to let Magma go in first. If he finds anything, ACO might come to support. And Magma, he does. He finds the first. ACO's already on his way out, but Magma, that's a second. Now it's just Cave. Cave back towards camera. Is Magma going to be ready for it? No, he's looking towards Pop Dog, and Cave will secure that. ACO saving the op, and that will lock in the round for WarriorPak. But oh my goodness, Magma, with only a deagle, he's able to rip out an AK, rip off a head with that AK, and try to lock that one out. And of course, there, the bomb planted. You don't know where the last player is going to be. You have to kind of gamble it, and you cannot shame ACO for saving that op, because with just a deagle going into that clutch, what exactly are you expecting out of your teammate? Can't be thinking they're going to go in there, get 2, and then almost get the bomb as well, but once again, they are just not making this easy. Any of these rounds that should be gimmies are not going their way for WarriorPak. And now Cave opens this one off strong. KD to follow it. So an early 2K. Camera not smoked, and that's going to spot out one player. ACO spots out one over the smoke. And he's joined up here by Ramza. Magma with the op over towards Ivy. Is Ramza going to be ready? He hears this player approaching, and he is going to turn. The AUG secures one. 3v3 now. They don't have eyes on that player, but Ramza does manage to find it in the end. Magma coming in through camera now. It's Tysel and K-Day. And Tysel, he has his op out. He's trying to find something here over towards Z. They boost one up. One pushes out. Magma finds the first. Tysel can't find it. And that's IJLSA locking in WarriorPak's picks and getting a 13-8 win to send us into Inferno. And a chicken on the ground. You can see a big error message as IJLSA causing an error in the coding for WarriorPak as they lock in a first map, and now we'll take it to their pick of Inferno. So thank you everybody for watching. We will be back in just about 10 minutes as we will pop in to Inferno. Alright, so we hop down into Inferno, where it looks like it is going to be a... I'm just making sure the teams are on the right sides. It looks like actually we need to do a quick little swap-a-rally over there with the lineup. Alright, so we pop now into round 1 of Inferno. IJLSA one map up and looking to hold it as they now start on the CT side of Inferno. WarriorPak already looking to try and end this over towards A. All 5 pushing up the middle. Short's trying to hold off along that arch side, but it's going to be ACO tested there on lane. He's in short pit, actually sitting right in front of that truck, but it's Focal to find him. One player down right off the rip. White Knight gonna have to hold the line against two pushing through, a third, but Lucifer claims him, and now it's Lucifer with it all to do as Cave finds Shorts, and K-Day quick onto Lucifer as well. And I do want to throw out there for anybody that has not had the absolute pleasure of witnessing an APL match before, there's a glorious thing that happens here on DE Inferno where our chickens, our feathery friends, will pop up as giant yellow error messages, which is an absolute delight, adds a little bit of hilarity to the match, and there you go. There's one right up there. So if you see those popping throughout the match, go ahead and thank Gabe and thank Valve, because they are gifting us some goofs, some gaffs here as we pop into Inferno. So the first round already going the way of WarriorPak, and now the second looks to be following that same trend as one already falls. Shorts already falling to White Knight, and ACO gonna lose his life as well over in the pit. Are they ready for Lucifer in the back of the site? He's already half health. Spots out the bomb planter, but isn't able to secure it, so a clean sweep coming out from WarriorPak. 3 kills from White Knight, and he's gonna be building up quite a bank, those kills coming off of the MAC-10. So 5 kills in a bomb plant, that's pretty much the dream scenario. Currently only Lucifer on a kill for this CT-sided side, which... don't make fun of me for screwing up how I said that. And that's going to force a third eco here. Nade down bottom mid. It is going to do a little bit of damage onto White Knight, but he's just going to barrel up. Focal, and nade there over into the corner. Dunks on Ramza, down to 3 HP off a single grenade. And Tysel spots one up, sees him through the giant glitching chicken. And Ramza just looking to try and hold off against any aggression here as he is hanging on for dear life, simply a thread of health. And he'll lose it to the Molly. Unfortunate from Ramson. I don't think Cave was quite expecting a kill that easy off a Molly that was thrown almost certainly just to lock in a fall off. But Lucifer finds his second kill of the map. Is going to be quickly traded, and the scout manages to find ACO in the pit, so now Captain Magma, the last one to fall, but fall he will. Another claimed by the 6 frags of White Knight, and now we will find our way into the first gun round. So currently everybody but Lucifer sitting on that goose egg. Cave, K-Day, Tysel yet to die. Only White Knight and Focal have lost their lives in this duel. And it's going to be Focal and Cave, actually, both on the scopes. Focal with an op. Ops to bring out the AK, actually. So Cave going to be the only scope here, sitting on a scout. Ooh, and that's going to be a nice spot there. White Knight spotted out through the spam. Is going to be found there by Shorts. And now, first frag on the board for him. The op over in Arch is going to be ringing out as Tysel falls to ACO. So an early 2-round advantage here on the first gun round. K-Day here on the SMG, looking to try and follow up alongside Focal. Cave looking just to spot out anybody over towards mid, but it looks like the 3Ts want to take their pack over into the A site, or the B site, excuse me. Gonna be some nice util from Cave. Gonna be a smoke out over into CT, but a follow-up smoke blocks their approach. It's gonna be a nice scout shot, nice follow-up spam there to bring Ramza down to 41 HP, but they are still locked out against this CT smoke, and this is giving time for Lucifer to bring that big green over from Arch, rejoin his teammates, and unfortunately, this might have been an opportunity where it sucks to say it for the T's, but you might have just had to try and push through that smoke. It's hard to say that, especially since we have the benefit of knowing that they damaged Ramza there. They weren't quite aware of that, Lucifer. This is a huge opportunity! He finds the first. Vocal tries to claim him, but loses his life in the process. Cave wants to follow up, and does find Ramza in the back of the side, finds a second onto Magma, and now K-Day sees the third, is able to secure it, isn't ready for the fast follow-up from Shorts, and IJLSA will get their first round on the board, but Cave absolutely monstrous there. Nice little swing into CT to find the second after claiming the secured kill on the one in New Box. And that is a nice attempt from him just to rip his team into the play there. And K-Day, nice trade opportunity. Wasn't quite expecting it, you could tell, but now we pop into the second gun round. 5 rifles out here for the T's. Cave on a Galil, or sorry, White Knight on a Galil. And Cave gonna get tagged down to 17 by the AWP of Lucifer, so that AWP finds its initial damage over onto Arch, and it looks like it's gonna be a fast rotate back. Actually, what's he doing? It looks like for a second he wanted to go back and trade to an M4. Chooses not to. Ramza joining Magma here, and looks like they might want to boost over the smoke, but no, the timing! Vocal tries to push through it the exact wrong moment. They're trying to boost over onto him, and he just loses his life in the process, walks into the stack, and now all 4 Ts want to regroup and try their hand at a push over here onto the A site. They're going to be fighting up against Shorts down in pit. Lucifer here in the Arch, and that smoke, it leaves a gap, and White Knight claims that you could tell on the minimap there was a gap in that smoke, and that lays out in the favor of the T's. They're able to find that AWP, who has been a bit of a pain in the rear, and is in fact the top frag for the CTs at this moment. ACO finds the first on the site. Oh, ate my Shorts as well, following it up from the pit. You can see just battling past the smoke. K-Day trying to find a line through, and White Knight coming up to join, but now they have given plenty of time to regroup over to the CTs, and White Knight, he inches out his shoulder, and Magma will claim it. As now K-Day put with it all to do. Does spot out Shorts over in pit. Doesn't know there's a player boost up. Had to have to be aware of this. Doesn't spot him out, and ACO will claim it. A 2K from him on the site, combined with his teammate and Shorts from the pit to lock down that A aggression, and WarriorPak kept to 3. Now, plenty of money here on a few of these players. It is going to necessitate 2 AK drops, you could see there. So it might be enough just to force out a buy here out of WarriorPak, but right now, you can just tell they're a little bit hesitant on these site takes. They start to probe in, they get some good early info, they get some good early damage, but after the picks, they just lean towards just slowing down and trying to play slow and keep their momentum, or excuse me, instead of keeping with their momentum. And now Tysel, smoked off, isn't going to choose to push past it. And already, oh no, that Molly doing wonders. Vocal burned down to 20. Tysel burns down to 68. Over 100 damage off that Molly. And Tysel looked like he was throwing an AK out of the map. Wasn't quite sure the reasoning behind that. But, you know what? If he's going to come through and hit headshots like that, I guess it doesn't matter. 3 for Tysel. Oh, and the 4th ACO, he spots out Tysel on the jump. Ooh, a little premature going before the smoke there, but isn't quite ready for the 3rd player to be there that quickly. And now both CTs, they're lightning fast on this retake. They're already in CT, already pushing up here towards Church, but they don't know about White Knight on the flank. Now, White Knight, only a P250 to his name, but is he going to be ready are they going to be ready to try and hold off against it? White Knight, he's going to have to be good with these. Gets the first headshot. Is he ready for the boosted player? No. And he doesn't turn, doesn't see it. Shorts, boosted up, finds him on the flank, but he might need to just drop out and save at this point. K-Day over in New Box is locked up here on this smoke in case he tries anything fancy. And Shorts just trying to add extra economy damage here onto the T's, unable to do so. All three survive, and a fourth round going over towards the T-sided WarriorPak. And that is what we want to see, and honestly, that is off of a phenomenal triple from Tyso. It finds the first and immediately there in top banana, follows it up with two quick headshots onto the site, only really falls because ACO is in a good position already to try and catch off anybody jumping in, but even after that, his team, with that smoke down, they hold the line, and White Knight with his flank, really just some great work from him to be able to find something and just really lock down any chance at that retake. So, nicely shut down there from WarriorPak, and right now, IJLSA trying to hold off against any sort of aggression. Some util being tossed around, and it is a little bit of a broken buy. 2 M4s, but some equally low HP on to Ramza. ACO tries to push through to find a second, but unable to do so. So now a 5v3, and with a smoke already down on CT, a smoke going down onto Headshot. Well, that is going to lock in this B bomb side, a 5v3. And of course, we saw at the major, and this isn't exactly a one round just yet. K-Day has to turn around to find Lucifer, isn't able to do so in the same time. Magma finds Focal there on the site, so White Knight, he's going to have to go huge again. Spots out Shorts in the backline on the flank, does do so, but now, it's Magma that has to go huge, but with limited HP, he tries to take a fast fight, isn't able to do so against Tysel. Tysel spots out the barrel from Lucifer as well, and another hat trick from Tysel will secure up that round, and once more, White Knight just allowed to walk entirely through that A arches, get behind those players in CT, and he finds one. And that one kill, it might not seem like the do or die, but every single time he is picking off one of these players in CT, and that immediately means that that second player has to be aware, has to be ready to have their head on a swivel. It just throws such chaos into the attempted retake that it is just dominating them when they try to get back into this B bomb site. And I mean, great attempt there from IJLSA. Some nice headshots coming out into top banana, coming out into the site to try and fight back in. And oh no, Tysel, he finds the first, but hopefully he's just calling out to his team, you might want to end this towards A because all 4 CTs are remaining on this site. And Cave with the op, sits bottom banana, looks like he is just waiting for any stragglers, but this is the right call for the WarriorPak, and they need to trust in themselves. It looks like they're going to. K-Day starting to push up alongside White Knight. And Magma wants to probe a little towards CT, but it looks like it should be a safe A bomb site. Now the info is going to start coming out. It's a B stack, so they're going to be a little bit thankful that Tysel went in and got that info for them. Or at least maybe kept those CTs from probing a little too much. Magma, they're in CT spawn, able to hold the line a little bit. But Ramza just going to be looking to save this AK himself in bottom second. At the same time, Lucifer trying just to hold for any sort of exits. Same with ACO. See if they're going to be gifted any weapons, because don't forget, it's Inferno. They got to run pretty far away to escape this bomb, but White Knight rips the head off of Lucifer. Will not be falling to the CZ today. Will they fall to the AK? Oh, no, but the bomb actually claims 2 of them. Focal and White Knight claimed by the explosion. At the same time, Cave does find ACO, so at least something for the trouble, but that AK recovered will find its way here into the 9th round of play. And WarriorPak now looking to be the ones to lock in a side. And quite honestly, this is just great to see after Train. I mean, it was back and forth pretty much the entire time on the first half, at least in the middle of the rounds. But once IJLSA got going, they just built and built and built until those pyramids were too high to topple. And Lucifer, early aggression in mid, gets him one. Oh, Cave doesn't quite land the shot with the op as well, so Lucifer escapes with his life, and with a nice 70 damage there onto Cave. And this is great info from IJLSA. They know this is a B play. They're starting to push down Lucifer towards alt mid. And now it is just on Magma and ACO to hold, but Tyson finds Magma. Lucifer trying to flank up here. Sees that op following in. K-Day is following and holding the flank, but ACO and Lucifer, they combine. Now it's just Tyson, just Cave, with, oh my gosh, only about 37 HP between them. And Cave does find some safe haven behind this pillar to get the bomb down, or should I say Tyson. That's now Cave with it all to do. 1v3, doesn't land the initial shot. Fades back into the smoke. Oh, isn't able to find Ramza either as he chases back out, and Lucifer on 1 HP combines with Ramza and locks in the third round for IJLSA. And, you know, after Train, you can't say that they're out of this yet. There very much could be a massive swing back over in the CT's favor. WarriorPak, they want to try and build as many rounds as possible here on this side because we saw how dominant these players from the CTs can be when they get their hands on those AKs, when they get in those positions just to pop heads, run in, and take names. And Lucifer, oh, he sees the first player, isn't quite able to land the shot, now knows he's there, lands the follow-up shot through the box, but doesn't secure a kill off of it. Shorts tries to follow in with some damage himself, narrowly escapes with his life, 2 HP left on him, and early damage exchanged on quite a few of these players. Cave under half health, K-Day and Tyson both tagged for a sizable chunk, but nobody falls yet. And ACO just holding to make sure nobody's snuck through, and now he wants to try and rotate back over towards B, which looks like it might be the way that this T side wants to try and end up. Interesting decision, Auto Director. We're going to leave that fight just as soon as it starts, and that just shows you that, well, for now, White Knight going to be holding towards these apps, but not going to be given anything, and again, a lot of damage exchanged. That nade could be gigantic! It tags White Knight to 18 health. And Ramza, 29, shorts at 2. But both of these low health players are over on A, and this is ending up towards B. Magma spots out the first, spots out the second, a 2K from him. Already the follow-up, but Cave comes through, claims it at the same time. Tyson pushes through, finds ACO. So once again, Tyson and Cave on this site, going to be in a position just to hold and try to get this bomb down, but no smoke to throw onto CT, no smoke to try and line this up. White Knight on the flank, needs to come up huge, and he finds 2. Tyson pushes in, sees the op, and claims a second. And once again, the White Knight flank from Arches comes gigantic. This time, not just with 1, but with 2 massive frags to shut down the B site retake. And that round, you gotta be saying, thank God we have a White Knight on our side, because he rips WarriorPak into this round. And Cave and Tyson, you can't shut them out of that one either. Nice job from them, a good trade frag from Cave, a nice find from Tyson onto ACO. That gets them into that site to begin with. But oh my goodness, these flanks and this shotgun. 13 frags. He isn't ready for Lucifer, lurking down in mid. Cave will trade it, but that's a one-man advantage. Ramza, he's holding mid for so long, just gets off it. But that might have led Cave into quite a small sense of security, which does allow him to push through and fall ACO. He's going to have a little bit of a timing here as a player walks through, isn't ready for a crack in the smoke. And that'll be an AK recovered and Tyson found, who has been instrumental at breaking into this bomb site. So now it's K-Day, Focal, looking to try and do something here against these remaining 3. And it looks like they want to take it over towards mid. It is just Ramza there. Ramza opts to fall back a little bit. 50 seconds to play with, but a full slew of utility here from K-Day, so plenty to work with. Are they going to be ready for Magma whenever he chooses to pop his head up? ACO still sitting on that AK. It's going to scare Magma away. They need to find ACO still locked in the site. They know he's got an AK on him. That op could definitely win that duel. Looks like they're a little uncertain, and Magma setting up for a boost. And that could absolutely decimate this take. 20 seconds, they need to start going now. K-Day does find the booster, but can't stop ACO. And ACO, a great 3K from him, finds Teisel off the edge of that smoke, not ready for a player to be camping it, and uses the AK to rip away the remaining 2 Ts as IJLSA get themselves a 4th. They want to try and make this a 5-7 half. And with the money over on the T side, it's looking ever so likely. They are going to force out 4 rifles and a MAC-10 onto White Knight. White Knight doing well with that MAC-10 thus far. I think I saw a rifle dropped on the ground as well. But regardless, Cave already down. Oh no, a missed molly from Shorts. That's going to be burning his teammate alive. And Lucifer, luckily, only loses 4, but he has to get off that power angle. And the op only allowed to find 1 early, but Teisel and Focal, they combine for 2 each. They shut down this hold at top B. And White Knight, this time, it looks like he's going to be on a hold from bottom ramp. Is he going to be ready to shut down this player crossing on by? He is, but he can't land the shot. 50 damage, but Shorts will claim him. 3v3, this bomb down. Ramza might be the first sign of contact. No, it's gonna be Focal. He finds his 2nd kill there onto Ramza on the cross. K-Day pops out, finds 1, finds 2, and finds WarriorPak. They're 8 rounds on the T side before the flop. And of course, I say flop there. A little bit of a mixed bag there between saying flip and swap. And that's just the kind of way it is here with this game. It's chaos left, right, and center. You got chickens as errors. You got players hitting headshots left and right. You got one of the chickens spinning in place, causing a spinning error message. I love the chicken errors so much. And it looks like what JLSA might like is just a fast aggression over here towards B. It's going to be K-Day and CT to try and hold off a first try from Teisel. Nice headshot. Trying to find a 2nd. Is able to spot him because it ended until the end. 3! Can he find a 4th over into Grill? Now they're pushing onto the site. They need to try and shut him down. White Knight, they're in CT. Tons of damage onto Magma, but isn't able to secure it. Teisel, a 4th! Could this be a pistol round? 8th, and it is! Teisel! 2 aces in the series, and on the B site, he locks it down all himself with some assists from his teammates, damaging him up so he can come in and rip off the heads. 19-6, and Teisel is going nuclear here. He said, you know, I'm a little bit pissed about Train. I had an ace, I got a lot of good kills, and they ripped it away. So now let me do some damage myself, and do damage he is. So now a little bit of a slower approach, and oh, Cave spots out 1, gets a little cut off by ACL, excuse me, but manages to escape just in time. Teisel, he's aggressive, gets 1 on Lucifer at the bottom of mid, gets him his 20th kill of the game. Now a 5v3 for the WarriorPak side. Just slowing it down a little bit. This aggression from White Knight finds himself 1. And now it's on JLSA to try and make a move. It's a D1, a 5-7. Full health on these players. No util to the name, though, so... Also, no armor, but at pretty much maximum range, that shotgun not going to be able to find a frag. Is going to find some info. And that's going to allow Teisel and K-Day to get a little aggressive here over in Banana. Shorts spots out 1, Captain Magma as well, but they're just getting tapped down, tickled down from their high health to really just within a breeze of dying. And White Knight does find 1, tries to go through for another, and he does. 5,100 bucks on him as the 3K with the XM will be secured. And now 10-4. 3 rounds off of taking us to Mirage. WarriorPak, well, they are doing damage here, and it's gotta be said, Teisel has absolutely taken over this game. And you gotta say White Knight. We've seen time and time again throughout the APL, White Knight is able to get into positions where he can get a one-off frag, he could get something with this XM that, you know, might just make it a 5v4 or maybe, like, equalize it a little bit. Ooh, nice little scout shot from Lucifer there. Ooh, finds a 2nd as well, doesn't land, and oh, there's Teisel. A huge skull to find early on. And just to finish that thought, but here in this game, White Knight, he has just been putting himself into positions where he needs to come up big, and he has been doing so, Cave. Putting himself into a pretty big spot here as well, and I have to be ready. They're ready for him, and Shorts doesn't allow him to get away with it, so I was gonna say a little bit of equality, but K-Day ripping Lucifer out of the game as well. He's gonna make this a 4v3. Make it a 3v3 is once again the XM coming up. But it's going to be on Focal. He's in the pit. Can he hold the line here against this aggression? Going to toss a molly there, and he's going to do massive damage on Ramza. But the AK will win out against the MP9, little-known CS fact. That is quite a common occurrence. And now it looks like K-Day is just going to choose to save. Pretty good option. Going to be able to buy up for Cave next round, give him a drop, or maybe Teisel. But, I mean, it's just got to be said, these players on IJLSA, they have been so good at just getting these frags throughout the matches. And right now, they are really being put in their place off some phenomenal individual play. I mean, it's got to be said, K-Day and Cave, they've had their moments of individual niceness here throughout the game themselves. But, at the same time, you can see 9 kills apiece, White Knight 17, Teisel 20. Focal, yeah, you know, down there at 4, but he isn't exactly needed in a lot of these opportunities. He is trying to help with the entries, and we have seen him come up big in sometimes. We can't forget that top banana take earlier on there on the T side. But White Knight, really an absolute step up in individual performance here. But now's the big test. The second gun round. Focal going to be opting for the shotgun as well. Actually, not too sure. Looks like he chooses to take it at M4 in the end. Lucifer spots out one, isn't able to connect the meat shot. And it's going to be Cave getting... Oh, not aggressive. Nice play from him. Just going to sit in Balk there to look over towards Apps. ACO looking to try and push up here with Magma. So the bomb might be spotted here soon. Lucifer rips the head off of Teisel. He's been doing a great job there at just controlling top banana early. And now Cave has to fall off. White Knight spots out one towards top mid. Able to do some damage, but no frag. So already a ton of damage here onto these T-sided players. Ramza and ACO within, you know, a bullet or two of being found. But that's going to be an open B bomb site, and that's going to be called out from Lucifer. They know it now. He's bringing the bomb back. He's bringing ACO back, and they're leaving Ramza there on the flank. And Cave trying to look for this aggression that he knows is coming, but he has to come up big. 3 players. That scout is an op against 3/4 of the side. But Ramza, is he going to catch off Focal? He does. And Cave now in a spot where he has to save regardless of the low health. It might be called out already that 2 of these players are within 1-shot distance. But Cave, he's got 18 HP, 2 kills to his name, so good on him for that. But he's not going to be able to capitalize onto it. So this AK having to save, and the T-Apps hunt begins. And for Captain Magma, it looks like the Cave hunt begins. Actually, for the whole dang T side, the Cave hunt's beginning. He's going to hear this aggression. Magma looks like he isn't quite ready for Cave, so the one full health player will go down. And now, really, it's going to be a little bit of a game of hide and seek, because 1 or 2 bullets from any of these players will end it. And Cave going to be more than happy just to save. So, hey, nice play from Cave. He gets 2 kills out of that. He does a ton of damage on the round. And he manages to save an AK. WarriorPak. Their massive lead dwindles to only a 4-round difference. And it's going to be a save across the board. Well, 2 Deagles. Cave's recovered AK and a nade on White Knight, which will find its way down mid. And looks like White Knight wants to get a little aggressive. He will. He spots out one, finds Lucifer, tries to find the fight as well, but Focal's going to have to be the one to claim Ramza. Loses his life as well, but already some massive frags coming out, but Magma swings right back and rips that AK away. So a great start to the round, and again, White Knight coming up huge in these little just off angles, these little weird plays that just get him some early advantage. But unfortunately, with the limited utility on the rest of his team, that will find its way into another IJLSA round. Teisel, a Deagle, might be able to recover some sort of rifle off this round. ACL is being a little bit of a puppy guard down here at the bottom of mid, and, you know, this ain't freeze tag, so puppy guarding is allowed. The flash comes through, perfectly played from ACO, and that'll land the kill. Nice awareness on the timing, nice awareness on the frag, and honestly, that was kind of clinical out of ACO there. I haven't had to say his name too much here on the Inferno side, but once again, you look over at these players over on IJLSA, and the frag distribution is pretty even. We've seen Lucifer be really kind of a demon throughout this game, unsurprisingly. We've seen some scout shots just claiming banana control. And let's see if he can do it again. Ooh, another scout shot, just early meat shot damage there on the cave. Nade not going to really find anything bottom banana, and already kind of posturing over towards this B site. So Lucifer, once again, showing a ton of impact. Some mollies, some smokes throwing down over onto B, so it's a lot of signs that this might end up over towards the Bravo site. And even with that, WarriorPak opts to keep 3 of their players A-bound still. No smoke onto CT. They're more than willing to play this slow. I think trying to sell some sort of a double fake. And yeah, they certainly are. Lucifer trying to give away those sound cues that the bomb's heading back towards A. This is keeping all 3 of the WarriorPak players over onto this A site. White Knight in a good position to try and find some damage. Ooh, but his Tracer's going to give him away through the smoke, and now looks like these remaining T-side players want to come join their compatriots over on the B sites. You got Teisel, you got K-Day, both players that have been able to come up huge on Train and Inferno. But will they be able to do so again here? One of the smokes misses, finds its way onto the roof. K-Day needs to have a fast rotation, but doesn't want to make any noise. That might cost them, as they need to try and rotate in. Teisel spots out the first head, tags shorts down to 4, but loses his life in the process. Magma finds K-Day, and once more, it is an IJLSA sweep over towards this bomb site. Focal comes through with 1 trade frag in the end from CT, but that'll do it. And it's got to be said, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to really judge that play from the CT side, because you can get what they're thinking. They're thinking, you know, there was a lot of early util on this site. It seems like it might be a bit of a fake. They're getting the call from White Knight that, oh, he's fighting a guy through the smoke on Arch. This might end up being an A-lean. So why lock in both of those CT players into the B-bomb site over there on Inferno? But at the same time, those players are on the site, and for K-Day, I mean, I gotta call them out. If you're gonna be playing in CT, you need to be ready with a fast rotate, and walking through Church is not enough. By the time that smoke comes down, I mean, your player, he is isolated there on the island of B site against the entirety of the team. So I think, you know, even just with the CT positioning, oh, nice deagle shot from Cave. You gotta be ready with maybe some quicker rotates or maybe a change in the position, just to have that extra firepower on site. Ramsa spots out 1, and White Knight finds a frag himself, so 4v3. WarriorPak staying aggressive in this round, staying competitive. And Cave, he has been coming up big with some individual kills this game. But it's still got to be said, only 1 smoke on the entire map for the CTs, and it's on B site. Or sorry, no, it's on Teisel, who now is rotating over. Lucifer's flash doesn't quite connect onto the site. ACO probing there over towards Bauk. He does have a player hiding underneath him. At the same time, Cave does want to try and find something, and he will! A second headshot from Cave. Beautiful performance there on the Desert Eagle. The op comes out, tags Cave through the blocks, so that's only going to tag him down to 29, and now 23 seconds left on the clock. What do the T's want to do? It looks like maybe they want to try a last hurrah over towards B, but it's going to have to be a full rush, and honestly, with an op and an AK, the AK at 43, I think they might just opt to save this, as weird as it is. I mean, you were up against full Deegs, but there's nothing left here to play with, and yep, that'll be a round going to WarriorPak. A thrifty round for any Valorant fans in the chat, as the CTs, they'll lose it to Deagles, and it's got to be said, nice shots from Cave. So pause coming out. And I will just real quick. I'm trying to take a peep at the chat. I don't think I can. I don't think I can open it. So not 100% sure what the pause is. Yeah, a lot of green text in here, but these aren't exactly you know. So I don't think any of the players are saying forcing execute queued operations due to entity slot reuse. I don't think that's happening. It's not entirely sure what this pause is. It might be attack pause. Not really one that we've seen a lot of throughout these series. They're just going to take some time to breathe. And once again, I mean, now they maybe a little bit of time to analyze this game. You just got to look at the firepower. I mean, IJLSA, they have that even frag distribution among their friends, among their teammates, among their team. But time and time again, you're seeing huge individual performances coming out from each of these teams that just absolutely dominate. Not exactly unexpected here at the APL, the #1 10-man league, but you can tell that really a lot of this is just lying on one player to come up absolutely huge in a lot of these individual moments. So before, I got to call it out again. K-Day falling back into... Sorry, I thought my sound disconnected. K-Day falling back into CT, leaving Tyson to fend for himself there on the bomb site. Doesn't quite pay out. But in that last round, Cave left with a deagle, finds the first one, holding in pit, finds the second. I sneezed. Finding a second, and that all but wins him the round. White Knight, he has had a phenomenal uptick in performance here on this one. But it's got to be said, 2 rounds to go to lock in WarriorPak's second map. And of course, this would be stealing the IJLSA pick. And it looks like the unpause will come out. So this round, it doesn't have to be stated, but I'll state it anyway. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm the talking voice in your head. The one you can't get rid of, no matter how much you want to. This is a massive one. IJLSA, if they lose this one, they will have enough to buy in the next, but they'll be putting WarriorPak onto map point, allowing themselves to lock in the Mirage Decider, and it's got to be said they seem a lot more comfortable on this one than they did on Inferno, so Mirage might suit them a lot better, and it's just going to be a fast B play. Already, the molly over towards New Box forces Tyson over to Dark. Going to be a second molly going there on the first oranges, so just locking down a lot of this real estate, but nobody willing to push through the smoke. Finally, the push will begin. Spearheaded by Lucifer. He's been absolutely gigantic. And once again, K-Day has to try and find usefulness over there from Coffin. Is smoked out. Isn't able to do too much in the position. And Tyson one frag, but he's gone. And now it has to be the retake. K-Day, nice shots there with the MP9. Secures up a first, gets a second. K-Day! I was calling them out that they needed to come up bigger or go home, and it looks like they aren't ready to go home just yet, as White Knight on the flank from Banana finds one, and it's all on ACO. The first secured. A second going to be needed here from Coffins, isn't able to find it. Cave locks it down, and WarriorPak, 4 opportunities to lock this map out in regulation. So I've been critical of that B setup this entire time, and a lot of things happen in just that one round. Tyson, he is able to find a frag before he goes down. K-Day is locked out of the site, isn't able to rejoin him there in the fights, but they're able to come up absolutely gigantically once that smoke fades, finds 2 frags, and just allows time for White Knight to rejoin his team. It does have to be questioned. Magma there with the op did have White Knight in his scope for, I think, about, 2 full seconds and doesn't shoot at him. So that could have changed some stuff. Maybe a little bit of a question mark there for the captain. But Tyson already going down over towards top Banana. It's putting K-Day in an opportunity where they're going to have to go big. And it looks like they might have the full force of the super acquaintances coming their way. We've got ACO just lurking down towards bottom ramp, and ooh, this might be a rotate back. Is White Knight going to be ready for this? I think he was spotted by ACO as well. He was. So this is going to be a full fight. ACO gets the headshot, and all three already setting up over towards the CT, or this B site. But it's only Ramza here. 15 health on him, but the full force of the Justice League of super acquaintances is coming in towards this site, and K-Day will get Ramza for the trouble. But it's got to be asked, WarriorPak, 3v4, do they opt to save this? It looks like no. The Dark player gets the kill, though, onto Cave. And it looks like K-Day already posturing to save. Focal wants to as well, but with this op in this prime position, he wants to try and find something for the trouble. Lucifer here's the fadeaway, and he won't allow that op out for free. And this is going to be unfortunate. It's going to be a situation where very limited money, and K-Day, they might even lose their life here if Lucifer's able to land this shot. It's an op versus an AK, and Lucifer, an absolutely gigantic chase into CT, gifts him the final 2 WarriorPak players. And I was a little bit worried about the money over on this CT side. I still am, but K-Day, 12K. Absolute crypto millionaire here on the CT side. They can afford to buy up Teisel. They can afford to drop some guns. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. A little bit of a delay, and Teisel opting to take a... It looks like an MP9. Gives that over to White Knight, who immediately gives it up in mid. And you gotta say, sometimes these aggressive White Knight plays, they really do pay off in dividends. And sometimes they end just like that. So could this be IJLSA putting themselves up onto the double digits, putting themselves within sniffing distance of overtime here on Inferno? Could that chicken really be an error? A mistake from God? A lot of unknown, unanswered questions. But one answered question is, which side is this going towards? And it's going to be an end on A. So this play over in pit from Focal is going to be called into question. They've got Teisel over in Library. Spots out one, gets a ton of damage, doesn't find a frag. Focal managing to spot out the bomb, isn't able to secure the kill, and Ramza will find him. Cave finding Lucifer on the site. Magma trades him, but this falls into a 2v4 immediately, and it's going to be Teisel spotted out from Ramza. Does find the frag. K-Day as well connecting onto one. And K-Day. Kit, nade, smoke, full health, and an AK-47. Do they attempt this? And it looks like the answer to that question is no. Looking at their broke teammates and knowing that there's only 2 rounds left, 2 more chances to close this out before Mirage might just be a distant memory or distant hope. Because if this goes to overtime, it is anyone's game at that point. Oh, and the fight over towards bottom. It was a quick check from ACO. Doesn't find the frag, but K-Day not able to trade it quickly either. So, 12-10. It's going to be a force from WarriorPak. They are about to be on max loss bonus. $2,900 if they lose this one. And a Deagle on Focal. Looks like a P250 on White Knight. And at the moment, just a slowed down approach here on good old-fashioned Inferno. Not really much to say, just everybody kind of probing, seeing where any of these players might be. And there actually is a bit of a change-up in the lineup. K-Day bringing the M4 over to A. Which does, of course, send Cave down over to B. And White Knight already tagged to 11. That molly's going to kill him. He's dead right off the rip. And already this A-site play is paying off in spades for IJLSA. And quite honestly, if you're sitting on WarriorPak's side, you got to be asking this question. Is it already time to go for a save? And off of that, it will be. Shorts pushes through and goes absolutely nuclear with the AK. 3 kills to his name. Focal trades the 1. But now what was looking like a steamroll into Mirage might be stopped in its tracks with an absolutely electric Inferno performance out of IJLSA. Lucifer 17 and 17. Most of these players not even in the positives for the T side. And at the same time, White Knight, it's got to be said, you know, he was up there 18, 19 kills. He's only now on 20 after about 5 extra rounds. So his performance was pretty dominant. He was finding a lot of crucial impact frags, but now it seems like the gambles just aren't paying off. So one final shot. One opportunity to keep this out of overtime. And Cave gonna get... Oh, doesn't get hurt. Takes some damage, but not hurt there. And Teisel an early kill. Shorts found over an apps. That could be the window in. All 4 remaining T-side players locked in towards bottom mid. And Teisel, he's going to have this info. That calls the rotate back over from White Knight. He is going to be there ready to support his team. K-Day still over in the pit. They don't know for sure that this is ending here. But it's an early flash. Stops any initial rushes. And White Knight, he wants to try and hold something here. Looks like he might try to do some spam through the smoke. Cave burning alive and isn't aware of it. And that'll lose his life. And with it, the sight. Looks like some T players want to get aggressive here over the smoke into this church, and it's ACO shut down by Focal. 4v3. K-Day has to come up big, but Lucifer's op shuts them down over towards Grill. Ramsa spotted out alongside Lucifer there towards Grill, and Magma, the captain, has to come up huge, needs to erupt, and he won't. Focal finds him. WarriorPak stays alive and pulls us into Mirage, where we will decide who lives and dies in the remainder of this match. So well played from WarriorPak. Nice frags, Teisel and Focal absolutely ripping them into a third map. And we will be back in just a bit to end it all on Mirage. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, for this one, we will be bringing you into the knife round because these two teams are now on their decider match here of the APL Showmatch number 3. And it looks like for IJLSA, they want to go with the tried and true. They're going with the men in the closet strategy. And they've been spotted out. They've done a lot of damage to each other. And Cave is trying to figure out how he wants to go in on this. They have to walk into the meat grinder if they want to try and secure some of these kills. And it's Eli Shorts to find ACL as the first to fall. Now I think the CTs probably could just sit back, and I think they win it. I'm not 100%. I don't exactly remember. It's been a while since I've gotten to see an actual knife round. And right now, WarriorPak IJLSA just trying to determine who exactly is going to be choosing their starting side here on Mirage. And it's going to be WarriorPak. So the men in the closet strat, even though it is Pride Month, sometimes you gotta come out of the closet. And for WarriorPak, it looks like that will work for them. So they're going to get to choose, are they going to stay on CT or swap over to the T side? And it looks like they want to stay. So we're going to pop into our decider map of this best of 3. The first ever decider needed in the APL, and it's here in Showmatch 3. And we're going to have to see, where do these players want to take us? Right now, looks like it wants to be a smoke execute over on A. Magma sets up. Looks like he wants to send his over towards top stairs. Cave currently in that position. The smokes come over. The flashes follow. And it's going to be a fast take onto the site. No frags exchanged. And this might be a little bit of a unicorn take. No, Lucifer finds one. Shorts pushes through right into Focal, who claims him as he tries to take CT. And now Focal trying just to hold here against bottom ticket. Teisel picked off there in connector. And Cave still over towards stairs. Able to find a second Focal. A headshot onto Tetris. And now it's just ACO and Magma. ACO sitting up there in Palace, waiting for anybody to approach. Meanwhile, Magma, it does get found out! The flying USP! Focal finds himself the firebox kill, and Palace finally reveals himself. So ACO, now a known entity. White Knight has to try and stick this bomb, has a kit to try and make it quickly, and ACO secures the round as nobody able to find him. Cave not able to claim him off, and even though White Knight in the perfect position to defuse, ACO locks that one in and wins himself and his team the first pistol, and the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances is going to be the first to strike. And already you're seeing the AKs coming out. Shorts, oh, actually opts for the MAC-10. But an AK still on Magma, and a Galil on Ramza. Galil on ACO as well, and Lucifer just rocking the D. We know how dangerous he can be with that, and all 5 players for the pack are going to be rushing as a pack over here into the middle of the map. Shorts gonna find his way out onto the B site, and even though K-Day strikes first, it's Shorts to manage to strike first onto their bomb site of choice. White Knight pushes in, the CZ doing wonders, secures him a frag. Magma tapping away, finds one. Goes for the second, and Magma and ACO, the rifles coming together to claim 2 of their own. Teisel within Zeusing distance, and he is going to be claimed. Lucifer, his second Zeus of the series. And the demon himself continues to add insult to injury. Teisel not going to love that, but for Lucifer, it does have to be said, 0 kill reward for that. Not going to mind it too much as he's sitting pretty at 4,100, but it is something to keep in mind in the long-term aspects of the game, and now here it goes. It's the first time to prove themselves. Gonna still be going up against 2 Galils here, and Cave just spawning out over towards that ramp. Isn't gonna see anybody. The smokes rain out into mid, so it is gonna be blocked off onto window and onto con. It looks like it wants to be a B lean. Teisel spots out 3 and isn't able to find any. Captain Magma finds him. Shorts wants to rain out here onto the B site, and the XM not able to deliver, so it's once again another barreling onto this B site that ends up paying off in spades, and K-Day once again coming in with a frag, just like they did in the round prior. Lucifer tagged down to 3 HP, but finds 2 players unaware. One reloading, one in the smoke, and a double spray down from the player that would fall from a gust of wind. Will secure up the 3rd round here for IJLSA, and oh my goodness, this map is off to quite a dominant start. We saw on Train, it was a little back and forth. We saw, was that Lucifer going for another Zeus? Well, between you and me, I am more than happy that he did not get it. I'm more than happy that it got shut down, because I am anti-Zeus. No Greek gods in this house. And for the WarriorPak, they are trying to look for any way to fight back into this. It was a good take in mid that round from the T side. Some well-executed smokes. They managed to come through, barreling onto Teisel, who wasn't able to connect onto them, wasn't quite ready for that level of aggression. And then White Knight, his XM just not paying off there up in the van. So now K-Day over in mid again with an MP9. Going to be supported in mid by Cave, who's getting aggressive towards top boxes, and we'll shortly find out that he is defending nothing. That will be good info. That's going to allow White Knight to start probing up a little deeper onto B. It's going to allow these players to consolidate a little more onto the A site. And at the same time, you can see already it looks like Magma and ACO want to try and test this, maybe back over towards mid, maybe back over towards B. ACO will hold the flank. And he's going to be tested by Cave here shortly, it looks like. Cave rounds the corner, finds an AK, and loses his life. No damage exchanged, but a life lost. Magma setting up a smoke. Smoke's raining out onto the A site. And Teisel has to drop down off his perch up in stairs, as now just bodies raining into this site. Does find one onto Lucifer, who tries to aggress deeply into that jungle position. K-Day in the smoke, falls to a nade. Teisel tapped down to 1 Uno HP, and White Knight does manage to come through to find some damage of his own, find a frag of his own, and Teisel the one this time to lose his life. White Knight Up here, perched on the top, finds Magma, trying to redirect over into Firebox. Ramza trying to push back in, and Focal finds him, so now ACO, once again, the man with the golden gun, has the AK, needs to try and find it, and he catches both. Focal prepping a molly. They think once again he's in Palace, and isn't aware that he just claimed the life of his friend from the Tetris position. So a 4K from ACO, who is here in dominant fashion already on the decider map of Mirage. 7-1. Two of these rounds held firm by ACO. Two 2v1s, one out from him. And the op doesn't manage to connect onto anything from Lucifer. But for the T's, they're already getting plenty of real estate over here towards mid and B. The smokes rain out over towards mid. And at the same time, those smokes going to cause a little bit of aggression from Teisel. The op forced to go up and fight a little further into mid. And will he actually be gifted a frag? No. Misses his shot. Lucifer claims him. And now it is only White Knight to hold off against this B aggression. 3 players here looking to barrel into him. And the XM, we saw what it could do over on Inferno. Can it come up equally big here? 1. Can he find a second? No, but plenty of damage onto Magma. K needs to find the straggler in mid. Will. Lucifer falls. ACO spotted out, and now the bomb rotating back to ACO. He's called that the bomb site is clear, and now over in the CT position. Takes a little bit of chip damage, but still they are convinced this is ending towards B, and now it might be. So this might be playing in the WarriorPak favor as ACO starts to rotate over. The players all low here from the T's, but Focal's M4 can't connect, and the IJLSA remains strong at 5-0. Wow. Back and forth affair. You thought they were going to start going towards A. ACO calls out. He's got the bomb site. He's taking this fight, but he's able to make the call. We can rotate in through CT. We can still end this B. This can still be a dominant performance from us. And it is. Every single player within a shot's distance of death, but none fall. Once again, another B-site lean, and this time against much less threatening competition. Teisel trying to edge out anything here along the top of the smoke with his deagle. K-Day and Focal, or sorry, K-Day and White Knight currently just setting up to try and hold over towards B. The flashes rain out. White Knight going to be calling that he spotted some, that he's got a little bit of damage out onto others, but loses his life, and now K-Day, just a USP to speak for, needs to try and have some impact here from back sight, can't connect. Magma finds him. ACO claiming one of his own, and now 3-man difference. Teisel's deagle would have to go gigantic, and it can't. Cave, the only man left to tell the tale of valor for his WarriorPak. And IJLSA, 6 rounds played, 6 rounds secured, and they're already in a distance to say how many rounds can we have locked in here? How many rounds of an advantage can we have going on to CT? Or will WarriorPak wake up and fight back to try and equalize this match and fight their way back in heading into a T side? It's got to be said, the smoke executions from the T side have been working off in spades. They have been pushing onto this A site and having success. The smokes in mid are not allowing anybody to have any information, and the rounds that they are able to get information, nobody's there. So it's just time and time again having to find some level of impact. Teisel in the window with the op, once again going to be smoked out. Goes for the timing shot, isn't able to connect onto it. And Shorts, he's going to spot out this early aggression from White Knight and now has him locked in the corner. Teisel in the meantime takes half his health and damage. Cave, nade onto the smoke, isn't going to find anybody, but does have the info that a player is aggressing up. And Lucifer wants to try and take this fight, so now pushing towards the top of Connector. Has an opportunity to perhaps strike onto Cave, and he's knifing him. Yep, the knife secured. Cave falls. Teisel in jungle needs to try and rotate and find the kill, and he does. 4-4. And a lot of mid control right now. Ramza, his smoke actually blocks off Shorts from having a firm position. And the follow-up smoke will, of course, lock Teisel out of any more aggression towards that window, but this op trying to find some way to have impact. There is a player up here in Palace waiting for an opportunity to strike, and Kade, very nice awareness over that molly, finds a frag, calls out the one on chair, doesn't continue trying to fight. They want to play for this man advantage. They want to try and get this first round on the board, and Ramza now trying to rotate back to join his brothers in this assault on the A site. Here it goes. A molly rains out over towards fire. It's not going to be enough to shut down the player locked out there, and now Focal just trying to spam it down, but isn't going to be able to find anything. A nade still, but at this point it's too late. At this point ACO's escaped. He's getting the bomb down, but Focal swings him, gets him down, and now, ooh, a damage onto Ramza. Isn't able to connect onto a frag. And Ramza and Magma coming up big. It's a 2v2. The bomb needs to be found. White Knight with a nade. It's not going to be able to find its target in time, though. Ramza, a flash high. Both of these players within an inch of death. And finally, that nade comes through and finds itself some glorious targets. Takes out the remaining two players. And finally, the WarriorPak is on the board. So hard fought, but a nice job at defending that site, a nice job whittling down the clock, and finally the WarriorPak have struck back here on Mirage. 5 rounds between them and their opponents, and plenty of money to work with over on the T side. Lucifer especially, I mean, that knife kill pretty much locks himself into this round. Ironically, not at very much money, but you know, when you got ACO on 7,400, you got Rams on 5,400, you're not really scrapping for cash. And it's going to be a fast play towards B again, so Tyson trying to bring this op over immediately. ACO finds Cave on the aggress. And once again, early mid control from the super acquaintances. Going to play here into just a hold over towards mid. Ramza in a firm position on this window, and Lucifer's frag on Decay is going to open up a strike into said window. And Magma finding White Knight, so now Tyson needs to try to find something on this cross, but he knows there's a player in window. He knows that he's locked out of this fight. Ramza trying to find his way back over, spots out Tyson, does some damage, but Tyson manages to hold his ground. Bombs going down. Focal still on the A site. Some beautiful boots here over on the B site of Lucifer. And now both these CT players trying to find some way to fight their way back in. ACO locking down the cap position, so both of his teammates know that this spot is safe. Lucifer, here's the aggression. Tyson's op falls. Focal, now in a do-or-die scenario, probably needs to try and get this op and get out, but with 24 health, it's a tall order, and he manages to find the first. It's actually a collat onto Magma as well, but Magma holds firm and gets the return frag to get up to 7-1, the Brazil on the board. And it's got to be said, Tyson, he was such a monstrous player back on Inferno. Struggling to find the same level of impact here on Mirage. At the same time, ACO really seems to be at home here in Mirage's playground. 11-2 for him. Now here in round number 9. Smoke onto window, no smoke onto con. That's probably going to make Cave a little bit antsy. The scout wants to try and find something. Nades, mollies, flashes, they all run out. It's going to be CT locked out of the fight. Focal flashing his way back onto the site, but the bomb, it's going down for ramp. Cave trying to find some sort of headshot angle. No, pulling out the dualies. He wants to go akimbo on these boys as they want to push through, and Lucifer, right from the edge, finds himself an angle on the top of that bench and secures a frag, but Kade doesn't let it go unanswered for long. One of their own, as now White Knight falls to shorts over in a sandwich. ACO trying to lock out over into CT, and the nade would have done absolutely monstrous damage, but he's forced to throw it wrong by the shots rained out against him. And Tyson, Focal, they have a good shot at getting the kill, but they know they've got to save, so running into CT as the IJLSA find themselves in 8th, and both the blue boys die to the bomb. Heartbreaking there for them. They only give that up because of the time. They only give that up because they know that it's going the way of the T's. And still, The cruel mistress, the bomb radius, does not allow them to prosper. So a broken by once more. And the super acquaintances, they want to go back to their tried and true. They're bringing out the smokes. Early aggression from White Knight. That XM does spot out one. Does get a little bit of chip damage onto the op of Magma. But ACO, he wants to try and play out over towards the Palace position. And a quick rotate from White Knight will deny him. Focal calling out the aggression. A nice headshot. Makes it a 2-frag lead in Tyson. Well, maybe the pistols are where they need to be the whole time, because these headshots are paying off, and White Knight, there is some of that performance we saw from him on Inferno that was so instrumental to them pulling out that map. And he manages to bring back some of that style, some of that flair here on the CT side of Mirage. 9-9 for him. A little shot of the A sign there in CT, and they know Rams is tagged up, but they don't know where he's going to be trying to end up. So the final 50 seconds. And it's going to be some shots fired off from Ramza that do end up leading these CTs back over to him. Got K-Day on the flank. Ramza trying to see if he can find a slot through, but Cave shuts the door. And you gotta say, in terms of fits, K-Day does have a nice fit there with that knife and those gloves. I'll call it out. I like skins. Skins do equal wins, and right now, for IJLSA, we gotta look at their inventories, because they must have some good ones. So we've seen this combo from ACO, the knife and the gloves. Very satisfying. K-Day wants to go and try and rip those gloves off of him. The smokes land. Gonna allow the T's their run of the place. Tyson finds one, isn't able to get back behind the box before he's hunted back down, so it falls to Cave. Over in Van, over in Apps. Needs to try and find something on these approaching players. K-Day knocks off the shorts the shorts Mac 10 and knocks off Ramza's op as well. Cave finally found out, tries to play trigger discipline and is not rewarded. Lucifer as well shuts down the XM of White Knight, and now it's Focal, it's K-Day to try and lock this in, but K-Day 1 HP. It's gonna have to be some big performances from Focal or some rapid shots from K, and K does get damage onto Lucifer, isn't able to secure anything more. So Magma, Lucifer trying to enclose here on Focal's position. Focal trying to find some timing, gets a headshot. Now it's a 1v1. Lucifer, he wants to try and hunt this last player. He knows where he is. He spotted him out, but he's spotted out in turn, and Focal clutches his out. 1v2 secured by the captain, and the WarriorPak is led by Focal Warrior for a reason. 3 rounds secured. And for the CTs, they might be losing this half, but they might not be losing this map. If they can get a 4th and get a T-side pistol win, this could transition into quite a back-and-forth game. Once more, the util coming out into mid. And it's going to be yet another mid take. Tyson has another op, wants to try and play one more time. Will they give him the room? Yes, but it's a leg shot. Ramza, 15 HP left on him. Tyson trying to fight a follow-up, gets Lucifer, a huge frag to find. Cave in the backline, a double spray down, manages to make this just a 4 versus 2, and now ACO locked up into front Apps, trying to find an angle on somebody. Tyson already down, and Agma in get-right position, trying to lock in something himself. ACO finds Focal on the jump up, but now has to find the rest of these players. It would be an ace for ACO, an ACO if he could find it, but White Knight denies and ends the half 4-8 in the favor of the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances. Now, I myself and many of the players at the APL, we're NA boys. We're NA in our hearts, our minds, our games. And Mirage, well, there's no map known better in NA than Mirage, and more than, or rather than maybe Inferno, which we've already seen. So these players have tons upon tons of experience on this map, and they want to come out and prove what they've learned. It's already an early kill there onto shorts by Teisel. A fast frag out of the map takes shorts out of it. And now White Knight claims a second as well. It's a retake attempted here from Connector. Lucifer comes through as well, but Cave comes up gigantic, and now it's just ACO. 1v3. Finds the first two, but K-Day needs to try and hold the line. It's K-Day back over towards default. ACO trying to just spy out where this remaining player is. Jump up. Does have to tap the bomb. K-Day trying just to kill some time. Spots him out, and the meat shots secure it. K-Day 19 manages to secure the pistol round for their team and get us an 8-5 scoreline that now the pack will have to fight to defend, as 100% the IJLSA are going to be looking to force up here and fight right back into it. Actually, maybe not, but some Deagles coming out. A Scout coming out. And we've seen many times throughout this series just how dangerous those weapons can be, so they're going over towards B right now. Only Shorts is home to hold off against it, and he's the one player that didn't force up. Only a USP to his name. Falling back over towards safe corner. Is able to be spotted out, and the MAC-10's farming it. Two more players immediately into market to try to secure, and they find him at the cash register, ready to take his card, take his number, and take his life. But Cave and Focal follow through to claim theirs in turn. Lucifer, a nice little tag there onto the player, but loses most of his life in the process. So Teisel wants to try and follow up into some aggression. Cave, good awareness, does know that that's an area that some of these players like to try and camp out and hold here in the exit. So it looks like it's going to be 8-6. Will Lucifer be able to hold on to the Scout? ACO, will he lose his life here at the end? Looks like maybe, as the flash going to need to come out. And it's actually Lucifer to fall. ACO runs out of bullets, and he'll die as well. And Focal, interestingly, a Bison brought into that one. Not a gun that you very often see bought. But the Bison gets a kill. Focal himself going up to 13-9. Currently the frag leader for his team. And Focal Warrior leading his pack. As now it's the WarriorPak trying to set up some smokes of their own. One goes over towards window. Will it connect? Looks like it. That's going to force Lucifer out. They do have Ramza sitting over towards connector, and at the same time White Knight situated up over into the palace. Just waiting for any sort of aggression. Already smoked out. But wants to just be a thorn in the side of any potential defenders here. At the same time, Shorts once more entrusted the entirety of this B-bomb site. And White Knight, he spots out one at top stairs, finds him on the retreat. Is he going to be ready for ACO camped out below him? Not sure, but Cave at the same time finding Lucifer with a well-placed nade into window. Shorts picks off Teisel as ACO finds White Knight. And now Focal, all the way back over here on B, manages to find Shorts retreating away. And now K-Day, Cave, that's going to be a quick rotate from them. They know there's a wide open bomb site to go plant onto, and they are rushing over in speed. At the same time, Focal, this is a little bit risky. He's very far aggressed here in market. Pushes in, loses his life to Magma, and now both CT players already together here in market, already paced to try and get out quick here onto the site and retake. K-Day spots out one, and that's going to be set up for Cave, but he doesn't manage to connect. Too many targets, can't choose, and Magma finds K, ACO finds Cave, and WarriorPak, they lose a round that they were poised to win. And that's just, I mean, it's got to be said for Focal, was it a mistake to just get so aggressive into market? I get what he's going for. I get that, you know, if you can just lock them down the moment they try to get in, that's huge. But you have a Bison, you're close range. Any sort of weapon against you is going to have a massive advantage. And unfortunately, the moment you lose that, your teammate who's planted is caught in the open. You've got another player with just a MAC-10 at long range. it's a tough spot to have to fight out of for his team. So Lucifer, good position over here, and Window drops right out in Clave's cave from the heavens. That's a shot you don't get to see every day, but whoo boy, is it satisfying when you get to see it. And now they still got White Knight camped over here towards the palace. They've still got Shorts alone on his island. And they've got Lucifer down there in Underpass being claimed by Tysil. So the smoke about to fade over towards Apps. This is calling Ramza to come join us for him. And soon enough, it will be a hit towards this site. As the aggression starting to improve over for these B-site players. It's going to be White Knight losing his life over to ACO and Palace. Shorts finds his first onto Focal. Ramza claiming one onto K. And it's all left to Tysil. And he's got the big green, so he's going to need to take 4 individual fights. It's going to be another ace required for Tysil. It would have to be his 3rd of the series. Does he have it in him? Especially with just 25 seconds to play with. And he already knows he's locked in here. ACO's holding his retreat over towards the back of Apps. He tries to fake a leave, tries to just convince these players he's going to be trying to walk out of Apps. And Magma, he's more than willing to take that bait. Does actually choose to claim the AK and under and doesn't want to fight it any further. They're more than willing to let him live with this op. So 10-6. And there's going to be 3 rounds required for the acquaintances to work their way out of this one. 4 rounds for the WarriorPak to equalize, and then 3 more to win it. And it's going to be pretty much a full buy aside from Cave on a Deagle, but we've seen how dangerous that Cave Deagle can be. And Tysil's op ripped away, so now Cave on the op finds himself a trade onto Ramza. Good pickup from him. Focal trying to follow up onto a frag onto Lucifer. Doesn't lose his life, but loses a good chunk of his health in the process. And White Knight once again wants to try and aggress here into ACO, who is more than willing for this fight to come his way. Situated in the smoke, waiting, and he's dastardly, he's dangerous, and he has found the kill. The first out. Magma going to be looking from the top of stairs to do some damage. Cave trying to follow up with this op, trying just to find some sort of aggression here as the players look to enter back into the site. The nade comes back, and it's going to claim Focal. A self-kill from Focal. We call that a suicide in the industry. And Cave now, the only kill in the round on this big green, and he needs to try and find it, but unfortunately he cannot. Captain Magma captaining his team to an 11th round as 2 rounds separate the CTs from the win here on Mirage. It's been a back-and-forth series the whole way throughout. And if WarriorPak are going to win this in regulation, they need to match their scoreline from Inferno. You can see it on the side of your screen. 11-13 is how that one ended up. IJLSA, they're looking just to hold off against this force buy. Tech 9s, Mac 10s, Deagles. And they're walking right into the AUG. So this flash is going to need to blind this AUG off the angle. And they're going before it. The first found. Cave falls. Bomb down. Jump up from Ramza. He spots out these players. A molly comes out. White Knight burning in it. Going to be followed up onto by the AUG. Multiple more frags coming out, but this time towards the pack. 2 kills on a Ramza and Shorts, as now the op raining out from Magma. Lucifer trying to find something. And while Lucifer's nade comes in from the heavens to take out Focal, it'll be Magma's pistol to finish that one off. So now 6 chances for the CTs to close this in regulation. The WarriorPak, we have seen signs of life from them throughout this series. We saw it at the start of Train. We saw it as they secured Inferno. Can we see it come back here to fight from behind and win out on Mirage? once more, White Knight will take this battle in Palace. He has not won this battle yet. And at the same time, the rest of his team spread throughout the map. Teisel trying to find something over there towards Van. The nade gonna bounce off. Does find the shot onto a jumping Ramza. Finds Shorts following up as well. Isn't able to land the shot though, but that's gonna call some players back over from A. That's gonna put White Knight into potentially a backstabbing position, as it's only Magma currently watching this site. ACO aggressing in the mid. Has his back currently turned to Caves Op. And that will actually open up the B site for Teisel, if only he can find this frag. He can't. Short secures it. 3 versus 4. It's going to be Magma spotting out the dropping player from Palace. White Knight looking to try and secure this. A nade doing absolutely monstrous damage, and the MAC-10 will finish him off. 4 versus 2. Cave, prime position, needs to land this shot, and he flicks away! Oh my goodness, Lucifer's Op going to be the one to come out ahead in that. Shorts trying to follow up into CT quickly. Nades, mollies raining out onto Lucifer's position, and it's going to be White Knight in a close fight against Shorts, and with 1 HP, Shorts will claim it. White Knight's molly spreads onto Lucifer, and this is going to be most likely all Shorts needs to say. I should get out, but he wants to try it. A molly rains down onto the bomb. This should be a save call from Shorts, but he is feeling cocky. He's feeling confident. He wants to try and just lock this in. The nade comes out, doesn't find him. K-Day's AK will, and the WarriorPak lives to fight once more, but loses Focal, and for the low economy of the T's, that is a nasty loss to have. So it's got to be said, good play from Shorts just to keep them in that site long enough to lose that extra gun. At 1 HP, unless you get a really sick Ninja Diffuse, which even at 1 HP, Ninja Diffuse not too likely. I mean, all it takes is one stray bullet or one real gust of wind to knock you out of it. Even a flash into the smoke could lose it. Magma finds Cave early in mid. Teisel still perched here towards front apps. ACO really looking just to hold strong here against any aggression. He's the only player on this site right now. Magma looking underneath, tries to get a shot off onto Focal top mid, doesn't connect, and ACO finds Teisel's back as he aggresses further into the apps. 4 versus 3. Lucifer, a nice flick downward onto Focal, throwing some util, and ladies and gentlemen, this might be it. White Knight on the MAC-10, K-Day on the AK, and they would have to go ginormous to find this one. Ramza, here's White Knight aggressing out of Palace. Gonna call back his teammates to come over and assist. Lucifer's Op, gonna be tasked to find one more, and it's gonna be 2 heads to find there for the MAC-10 of White Knight, so it all falls to K-Day in the apps alone. AK, smoke, and bomb. They might be gifted a free site here. It depends on how fast Shorts can get back in, and Shorts will manage to get into the window. Actually walking out the door just in time, and K-Day, they are killing way too much time here. 20 seconds. They're not going to have much time at all to clear the site. It's going to be a dangerous one here. As K-Day finally makes the noise, drops, but with only 10 seconds, they need to just commit to this bomb, and that's going to be enough. Shorts will swing out, Shorts will find the frag, and Shorts will make it so that they win it all. The International Justice League of Super Acquaintances will find their win here on Mirage. Congratulations to them. A well-fought series from both teams.